Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to trace an absolutely remarkable biological journey, following the exact path of a single breath of air as it travels through the human respiratory system. You know, it's a process that happens constantly, literally keeping us alive, yet we rarely stop to visualize the incredible anatomy that makes it all possible. We're going to break down this life-saving process step by step so you can clearly picture exactly what's going on every single time you take in air. But hey, before we dive into the anatomy, I want you to physically connect with the subconscious machinery inside you. Wherever you are right now, just go ahead and take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. That single action you just took activated a massive, beautifully complex network inside your body. Our goal today is to map out that exact sensation you just felt.
Here is our travel itinerary. We'll start at the gateway to breathing, cruise down the windpipe highway, explore branching into the lungs, and finish up at the gas exchange destination.
This sequence sets up our whole journey, mapping the chronological path of airflow through your anatomy. We'll kick things off at the nostrils, move down into the trachea, expand into the lungs, and finish up at the alveoli. Section 1. The gateway to breathing. Right, so our journey begins at the outer part of the nose, with exactly 2 nostrils. When you took that deep breath a second ago, the air was drawn directly through these initial entry points, instantly pulling the outside atmosphere into your system. They are literally the front doors for every single breath you take. Moving past those outer nostrils, the air enters an inner space known as the nasal cavity. To picture its exact location, it's situated directly above, just upward, and next to your oral cavity. So the air comes through the nostrils and immediately floods this inner nasal cavity.
Section 2. The windpipe highway.
Next to the nasal cavity, the air drops down into a pretty remarkably structured passageway. This is the trachea, or as it's commonly called, the windpipe. Think of the trachea as a massive, dedicated highway for your breath, carrying that air you just inhaled deeper into your body, straight down through your neck. Now, as the air travels down this highway, it passes a really prominent landmark right in the neck. This protruding part is the atom, or the voice box. The air traveling down the trachea safely breezes right by this familiar structure as it continues its downward journey. Section 3. Branching into the lungs. Following the trachea, right next to the voice box area where the airway officially enters, we find small muscular structures known as the lungs. This is the primary destination that houses the rest of the respiratory process. Your entire breathing apparatus is practically designed just to get the air safely from the outside world directly into these structures. And because these structures are absolutely vital, they need some serious protection, right? They don't just sit exposed. Instead, they're wrapped entirely in a specialized outer layer called the pleura. It basically acts as a shield, covering the lungs to keep them safe as they do their incredible work. Now, check out this incredible contrast in how the air disperses. That single trachea highway divides into 2 main tubes called the bronchi, but it doesn't stop there. Once inside both lungs, these bronchi continuously divide into a massive network of much smaller structures, simply called branches. It's like going from a major interstate to 2 main roads to countless tiny branching streets spreading throughout the lungs. Section 4. The gas exchange destination. We've reached the end of the line. At the very end of those tiny branches inside the lungs are these specialized balloon-like structures. They're called air sacs or alveoli. This is the exact spot where the actual exchange of air finally happens. The whole journey, from the nostrils, down the trachea, through the bronchi, and into the branches, was all just to deliver that single breath of air right into these tiny balloons. The dramatic final piece of the puzzle is how these air sacs interact with the rest of your body. The alveoli don't just sit there holding air. They are directly connected to your blood vessels. Because of this connection, they can seamlessly exchange gases right into your bloodstream. This right here is the ultimate completion of the process. It's the exact moment the outside air becomes part of your internal system to keep you energized. As we wrap up this explainer, I just want to leave you marveling at this continuous, life-giving process. From the nostrils, down the trachea highway, through the lungs covered by the pleura, and finally into those balloon-like alveoli connected to your blood vessels, this sequence happens flawlessly, over and over again. So what I want you to think about is this. How many breaths will this subconscious machinery take for you today, perfectly exchanging gases every single second without you ever having to think about it? It is truly a remarkable journey. Thank you so much for joining me to trace the path of a single breath. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.